my channel. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm not going to talk that much. Actually, that's a lie, because every time I say I'm not going to talk that much, I talk a lot. The video is just going to be about using heat in your hair if you have natural hair, and basically how to do it without damaging your hair too much. So I'm going to be using the olive oil, and that's the ORS Heat Protection Hair Serum. So I'll be using that today. For my scalp, I'm going old school, and today I'm using the DAX. Yes, this is old school. I'm using the DAX, and that's a pressing oil, coconut and castor. And that's one there. So not a lot of products in there today. What I will do is take it out of this first and foremost. So yeah, I gave it a quick little wash, rinse out with some conditioner because I had a bit of product in there. And the reason why I like to take my time and I don't use that much heat, because I'm always scared that I'm going to ruin these beautiful curls. So I don't do this very often, but I'm kind of getting a bit bored now. I want something a bit different. I don't really do the whole weave game. I was thinking about braids, but then I'm like, maybe a wig. I don't know, but for now we're just gonna straighten it up and see how that goes. So the first thing that I kind of wanna start with is some grease. And I do have a rat tail comb, what they call this. And I'm just gonna do a few parts and just coat my scalp with the grease. And like hairdressers, they usually put it on their arm, their hand. I am trying to separate. I'm not obviously getting everywhere in my scalp, but I kind of just want a bit of grease on there. And in true Rina style, I guess, you know, we might as well talk while we do this. And as of today, the 10th of October, Thursday the 10th of October, it happens to be World Mental Health Day. It isn't, you know, this isn't to say it's a bad thing that, you know, maybe some of us have a few mental shills, things that we're dealing with, trying to deal with. But yeah, it's all about being real with yourself, being honest, understanding, you know, trying to understand your feelings and where it's coming from, and also reaching out for help. Talking is good. Very good. So, with that being said, I'm just gonna, before I get out the old hairdryer, I'm just gonna put some heat protection on my hair. And again, I like to focus on my ends because I don't want them to be ruined by the heat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to separate my hair into 4, just to make it easier for myself. It's Friday tomorrow. How cool is that? I've been waiting for Friday since last Friday. But yeah, it's gonna be a mad afro when I've finished blow drying it out. Does anybody else have these issues where their hair is complete different textures in random spots and stuff? It's not that bad, but my hair is really soft. I like that. I like that a lot. So you're probably going to see me use a lot of this stuff. And again, it's just because I want to protect my hair into it. Old school power pick. You know. These have been in our households for decades. So before we put any type of heat, we always put the heat protection in there. And that's that. It's gonna be such a huge throw. But I really like the colours in my hair. Yeah, I like the colours in my hair. Can't really say I've got that much shrinkage. Straight puff, semi-curly puff, straight puff, semi-curly. And the funny thing is, right, I'm going to straighten my hair, and guess who's still going to put it back in one? Is my hair. Straight-ish. This is my mane. 2 years growth. So, I mean, for 2 years, it's not bad. You did good, girl. You did good. Now, with the straighteners, mine has a few different settings. So, you know, you can have it, I think it goes up to 230 degrees. I'm gonna see how my hair takes to a lower heat as opposed to the higher heat. I don't really like the high heat sometimes because, you know, when you have that burny smell, like your hair's burning. I hate that smell with a passion. Like, I like my hair to smell like product, or, you know, the conditioner, or not burnt. It smells 200 degrees. Hopefully 200 degrees ain't gonna make my hair smell. This process is very long. Put the heat protection serum on. I'm still going to add a little bit more to each section. And this time we will be kind of using like a pea-sized amount. I'm literally just, it's on my tips, that's it. And then I'll just coat the strand. So don't forget your comb. Kind of tend to hold it at the root for a little while, and then just bring it down. You can kind of use your comb to lift the hair up and get that. And obviously always have a mirror close to you so you can, you know, see what you're doing. I never do the sections. I think obviously the thinner you do the sections, the flatter your hair will come out. But yeah, see, I try to do a thin section. Sometimes this is a process best when you've got someone to help you, you know, do the parts or whatever. But we independent out here, right? What do we say when you want something done? Girl, you do it your damn self. If you don't know how to do it, you better learn. And get things done without relying on other people. Learn how to do it yourself. Right at the root. Sometimes it gets a bit hot, so kind of just do that. And then just bring it down to the end. And then combing it through just makes it a little bit straighter. So, Mental Health Awareness Day. I think mental health is something that a lot of people suffer from. People sometimes see it as something to be frowned upon, or, you know, it's kind of like a taboo. You know, if you've got mental health, you're crazy, or, you know, you're a threat, or can you stay up there? You know, whatever the case is. And, you know, you have everyday people that still go out to work, that still smile, that still look happy, and they be dealing with a lot of shit. But you will never know that. I'm one of those people. I am indeed. So, obviously I can only talk about my experience. And I wouldn't really say this is something that, you know, I speak about a lot. Or that many people would actually know, because a lot of people see me as this bouncy bubble of energy that's always smiling and that's always bubbly, and most of the time I am. But then sometimes I appear that way, but, you know, that's just to stop the questions or people asking, or, you know, even when people do ask, I'm always fine, or I'm tired. How are you doing today? I'm fine, I'm just tired. And that tired is not like, oh, I'm tired because I didn't get enough sleep, or, you know, I'm tired because I'm just lazy and I like to sleep. It's literally, I'm tired because I'm tired of life right now. Life is hard and I'm tired. That is literally what I'm tired is. But when I say tired of life, that is in no way indicating that I'm done with life. I think, you know, there are some people out there who go through things and they literally are done with life, but I also look around and life is a beautiful thing, and no matter how bad some situations may seem, everything has a time, and, you know, I don't really think bad times last. They last as long as you give them energy to last, if that makes sense. You know, the more you put energy into focusing on something that's doing you no good, it's going to continue to do you no good. And the quicker you kind of are able to switch yourself out of that mindset, I feel like the quicker things start to improve. Now, you know, there are some people where that doesn't work and medication then comes in and plays a part. But yeah, I'm not one for medication like that. I'd rather not, thanks. Do you see those colours? Those highlights look really nice. When I straighten my hair, people always are like, oh, your weave is so nice. I'm like, who? I used to get really offended before. Like, my hair is not weave. But then, like, people are like, but you have some really good looking weave like that. You should take it as a compliment. I'm on the fence on that one, whether I should take it as a compliment or, you know, feel totally insulted. This is mine. Okay. I would say my first experience with mental health was probably maybe around 2014, I think. I think I was just going through a little crisis. It's like 2014, 15, yeah. Just before I turned 30. Actually, no, it was the year I turned 30, actually. Yeah, the year I turned 30, because that was a really good year. And, like, the year leading up to it was a really good year as well. Like, work was great, my circle was amazing. I was travelling, I was having fun, and then it just all changed. Like, I went through quite a dark time where, you know, I didn't really want to do anything. I had no motivation. All I wanted to do was sleep. You know, during that time, I did have a few angels around that kind of were able to unknowingly pick me up. So, you know, I forever rate those angels, because you don't know what you were doing at the time, but you were doing bits. You were doing the damn thing. So again, you know, you have to give thanks to the people around you. and the ones that, you know, check on you and like genuinely check in and want to know how you're doing, and the ones that probe you and you're like, no, I'm fine, and they'll be like, what's going on? And it's coming from a genuine place, you know, they're not just saying it for the sake of saying it. And I feel like when you have those people around you and you can feel that genuineness, you're sometimes a bit more inclined to maybe open up and be like, okay, look, this is what I'm going through. Okay. Now, there is one thing, although I am a very, very positive person, I try to be anyway, and because of like, you know, how I am, I'm not a very confrontational person, so I don't like conflict. Sometimes things might happen, or, you know, I don't necessarily always speak my mind or speak on situations just because I don't want it to turn into like an argument or a conflict, or sometimes, you know, stuff might piss me off or, you know, get to me a bit, annoy me, you know, whatever you want to call it. And it's not necessarily something that I will speak about there and then. I'll kind of just, you know, all right, cool, you piss me off, whatever. And I just try and get back to that positive vibe. But I think, you know, there has to be a balance. You've got your yin and your yang, the black and the white, two sides of a coin. It has to balance out at some points. You know, you're going to have good days. To balance out the good days, you are going to need those bad days. But I try not to have as many of those bad days. So when I'm sometimes maybe avoiding it, if you like, eventually it does come to a head. So, you know, there will come a time where I do get a bit down in the dumps. And I think that's just a build-up, you know, of situations that have occurred that, you know, have me feeling the way I am, and eventually it's just like, oh, do you know what, it's the cherry on the top. One small thing can just blow everything up and then bring everything back, and it's like, oh, you know? So that's how I find myself, and then with that comes a whole new issue. When she gets stressed and, you know, you've got that build-up, so she stops eating. So then I get really skinny, I lose a lot of weight, and then a lot of people will be like, ew, you've lost so much weight, you're so skinny. And it's like the more people comment on my weight, the more weight I lose. And then it really starts pissing me off, because I'm like, oh, do you know what, just fuck off, whatever. So you put on a few pounds. Am I telling you, you fucking fed every minute? No, let me live my life. Okay, cool, I've slimmed down. What if I wanted to slim down? Did you think about that? Maybe I know there's issue as to why I'm a bit slim. Are you asking me why? Are you asking me if I've got enough money to eat food? Are you offering to feed me? Are you? Oh, well, stay out of my goddamn business. That's how I feel sometimes. Most of the time. But yeah, and then, you know, it's short-lived, and then before you know it, put back on my weight and everything's good again. Until, like, you know, another 8 or 9 months down the line where I have another little mini moment. But, you know, on a whole, I do feel like I'm doing quite well dealing with life and adulting. There is a mask that a lot of us will wear. And again, I think that mask is about not showing your vulnerability to people. Like, I don't like to come across as a weak person, because for me, like, I'm the one that I'm the agony aunt that my friends come to, and when we talk and I give advice, I like being that person. I don't really like being on, you know, the other side of the shoe. So I've never really like reached out or gone to therapy, had counselling, or, you know, I've never really done that. I tend to, music is my therapy, hands down. Music is my therapy, and more time that does me well. Or, you know, writing poetry. Yeah, she writes sometimes. I haven't written for a while, but, you know, sometimes when the mind's full, the words do flow out, and it can be, it's a good release, you know. So I do write when things get a bit stressful, but I've never really, again, you know, been one to talk, because as much as I can talk. Like, we're already 40 minutes in this video. Shit. Not telling you my life story. Not the things that really matter, or the things that keep me up, or the things that make me feel shit. And again, I think it's kind of like, because I don't want to put that energy on people. Like, I don't, you know, and it's not to save face, it's just, I think it's maybe a pride thing. I need to let it go, but I did have a bit of a trauma earlier this year, wherein a young boy had been stabbed outside my house, and I went to help. Quite a horrible stabbing, to be honest. And it's not that, you know, like the blood or anything like that. I come from a medical background. Like, I'm quite intrigued by medicine and like medical stuff. Like, I'm not squeamish. Blood, bodily fluids is what it is, and it doesn't faze me. But I think what was different about this situation was the severity of it and the age, you know, being a mum and having a child to a similar age. It wasn't nice. And I didn't actually think it was affecting me. I mean, I couldn't really sleep very well afterwards, and I'd have like night terrors where I'd like doze off, and, you know, I'd remember something, and then, you know, I would just flinch and wake up, and I wouldn't be able to get back to sleep for love nor money. And then, you know, I was quite jumpy when I went out. Like, if I was on the train and, you know, the kids were on their way home from school and they, you know, they're just messing around, but if they got too leery, my heart would start palpitating, and I'd feel a bit scared. Not necessarily that I had anything to be scared of, but just not knowing what could unfold if they were being serious. So that made me feel like a bit of a way. And then there was like going to work. You know, if I'm going to work and I'm already tired because I've not slept that long, and I'm trying to like focus on my job, and, you know, I'm not able to focus, and then things like little silly things would start annoying me or frustrating me, and then I just remember one day, I think like most workplaces have these like counselling lines that you can phone if you want to talk. So I remember one day being in one of the offices, and I was just really tearful all the time. Like, tearful. I'd go in the toilets and just cry. I couldn't tell you really why. I was just really tearful. So one day at the office, I was just like, I need to speak to someone, because I don't really know why I'm feeling like, I know why I'm feeling like this, but like, I don't want to feel like this, sort of thing. So I phoned the line and I spoke to them for about a good hour, only for the conversation to end with, we think you should contact your GP, because basically this isn't something that we can help you with. So I just spent an hour spilling my guts to you over the phone on my lunch break for you to tell me you can't help me. That was a bit of a smack in the face. And after that, I went upstairs and I cried some more. And then I phoned my, then I did phone the doctor, and I cried on the phone to the doctor, and they managed to get me an appointment that same day. So then I phoned, I spoke to my supervisor and explained, and cried some more. And yeah, that day I think it just came to a head. I just was tearful. I wasn't at any point thinking that, you know, I wanted to do something silly, because again, like, I love life. It's not always easy, but I don't look at my life and think, I don't want this no more. For as good as it is and as hard as it is, or for whatever it is, it's mine and I appreciate it. And I'm not giving up. So that's kind of like, that's where I was. So, you know, I took myself to the doctors, had a good chat, and they wanted to give me antidepressants. Basically, just to kind of, you know, stabilise my mood a bit. They did say that it sounded like I did have some post-traumatic stress from the incident. And I pretty much said no, I didn't want to take any tablets. But, you know, I did want to sleep because I was just tired. I was always tired. So they did give me some sleeping tablets, which I didn't take for very long. I maybe took for like 3 or 4 nights, maybe a little bit longer, but I'd take half because I didn't like how they'd make me feel the next day. And I would literally only take it if I'd fallen asleep and then I had a terror and woke up, that's when I would take it. Just so I could get back to sleep. But then I'd be super tired in the morning because I'm taking it at like 2 o'clock. And then, yeah, so eventually I had to stop with that. I didn't really think it was doing much anymore. And I'd put myself down for counselling. I went and done some like meditation class thing, like a dot mandala. So it's like where you just sit there and like use different coloured paints and different size dotters and just make really cool designs. And that was actually really good. You know, it helped to take my mind off of things, helped to refocus a bit. And when I was doing that, I wasn't thinking of anything. And you know, that was another thing that I was really anxious, especially if my daughter would go out. I'd want to know when she left, when she was on the bus, when she got off the bus, when she got to where she was going, when she was on her way home. Like, I want to know everything, every move, who you're with, who are these people, who do they know, like, and God, it's tiring when you've got all this going through your head. So yeah, my doctor ended up signing me off work. Initially it was for 2 weeks, and that first, I'd probably say, you know, like the first week and a bit, I just slept all day. I'd get up, I'd eat something, and then I'd just go back to sleep. And that was my way of, well, I think that was my body's way of saying like, yeah, you just need to rest and chill for a bit. So that's kind of what I did. And in the meanwhile, I was, you know, speaking to friends, and, you know, like looking at people who had maybe been in a similar situation and, you know, reading their stories and, you know, what support worked for them and stuff. And just tips on how to deal with the situation, because I felt that there wasn't any support. Like, I was never guided by anyone after the incident. Like, you know, I was never given any information like, you know, here's a number that you can call if you feel this way, or this is what you can do, or, you know, this organisation does that. There was nothing. It's kind of like left on your own. And okay, yeah, I know I'm not taking away anything from the victim, but every day in London we have these incidences occurring, and of course the victim is the utmost important person, but then you have the people that are helping the victim, and just as the NHS staff will get support and help and guidance as to where to go to deal with the things that they see on a daily basis, I feel that the people that are there to help in those situations also needs to be guided to where they can go and get some help and support, or just to, you know, be able to deal with what they've seen, what they've gone through, what they've heard, yeah, just how to deal with it. And yeah, I just didn't feel like that support was given. So I kind of had to look out and reach out to people and speak to them. And especially when I did request the counselling, I was told, you know, like there is a really long waiting list as expected. I didn't expect it to be as long as it was, but it was a really long wait. And so after the first 2 weeks, I still was just didn't feel like myself. Like my bubbliness had gone. I was just quiet. I literally just stayed in the bed all day. Like, I might not sleep all day, but I would be in my bed all day trying to. There was no motivation. I had no mojo. I wasn't inspired by anything. It was just all blah. It was just blah. And so after speaking to my manager, I went back to the doctor, and they gave me another 2 weeks. So the first week in that 2 weeks, I kind of, again, I was just really lazy. I wasn't doing much. And then I had spoken to one of my friends, one of my soul tribers. And she, you know, I was being drawn to a crystal shop. I'm very much into my crystals. I will touch on that in a different video. But yeah, I'm very much into my healing crystals, and I very much believe in the power of them. So there was just something that was calling me to the crystal shop. And I've got one that's not too far away from where I live. Never been there. So I went to the crystal shop, and my friend I was talking to, she was telling me about a particular crystal to get. So as I walked into the crystal shop, it was just crazy. Now this probably sounds a bit bizarre, but as soon as I walked into the shop, I felt so different. Like, I walked in and there was like these huge crystals everywhere, and I was just like a kid in a candy store, and I'm looking around at everything, and then I video called her and I'm like, look at this, oh look at this, oh look at this, and literally the excitement was crazy. And then I saw like they had these singing bowls. So the girl like showed me how it worked, and the sound was just, it was just so beautiful. It was just, I can't even describe it. It was just really beautiful sound, and I really liked it. So I didn't buy it because I don't have that type of funds that day to buy one. But I did buy my crystals, and I bought, you know, my sage and all that good stuff. So I had my incense and I had my crystal, and I left the shop. But when I left the shop, I felt a bit happier. I felt good. I felt alright. So I went home, had my crystals, and then that same night, a video popped up of Janae Aiko, and she was using a singing bowl, and she was like doing a meditation over it. So I listened to that, and it made me feel really sleepy. Like, I'm listening to it, and her voice is beautiful anyway. I love her voice. I love the tone of her voice and everything. So her voice is just amazing. But I was listening to it, and it was just so calming. Like, you know, when you go to a beach and you just listen to the waves come in, and that nice calming feeling that you get from it, that's what I was getting from her and the singing bowls. So later on that night, after I finished watching that video, I asked Alexa to play me some bowls, and so she started playing some random playlist, and I was listening to it before, like, in my bed. And I couldn't tell you when I conked out, how I conked out. I just know I woke up the next morning and I felt wicked. I slept the whole night. I don't even think I dreamt. I don't remember nothing. I didn't get up to have my little sleep snacks or a drink. I slept right through. And I think that uninterrupted sleep. And I mean, I don't know what those bowls did, but like I said, from that morning on, I started feeling a bit better. Like, I'd actually get up and get myself ready. I'd come in the front room. I'd be a bit more active. So I started feeling a lot better. And as the week went on, you know, and I'm still having my crystals, and I think we might have had a full moon then. And again, I love the moon. I'm a weirdo. I like looking at the moon and taking pictures. If you've got a Huawei P30, you know how bad those pictures come out. By the time I went back to work, I was not back at feeling how my normal self, but I had a bit more tolerance for a lot of things. And then I was speaking to one of my friends who's been trying to get me on YouTube since 2000 and whatever, maybe 16, maybe 17. And I wasn't fobbing her off. I guess life just took over, you know, you're busy and work and, you know, whatever. So it never actually happened. But then I don't actually know how we started talking again, but, you know, she was like, you should really do this and blah, 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 blah. And I don't know what got into me or why I even decided that, you know what, fuck it, let's just go for it. But I did. And this has been an amazing distraction from everything else. It's given me so much more to focus on, so much more to think about. I've been a lot busier. Obviously, I'm learning how everything works. I'm learning to edit, teaching myself. I'm reading. I'm doing my own little personal studies, and you know, I'm focused on other things. And I think when you do have, you know, little mental health issues, it's always good to have something to focus on, and whether that is gym, which is not me, I don't do the gym, or, you know, you bake or whatever it is you do, just have something to focus on, and that really helps. So now we skip forward to 5 months. Well, yeah, skip forward 5 months, and I had my first therapy session this week. I've never done that before, but in true Rina mode, I spoke most of the time through it. She also asked like how I was feeling, and I explained to her that, you know, that I do feel like I'm in a better place. Like, I know I'm probably still stressed a little bit, and I know that because my appetite's not the greatest. On the whole, I do feel, you know, I feel a lot more positive. You know, my focus and my motivation is back. I'm sleeping. The only thing is that I'm not eating very well, but apart from that, you know, my mood is a lot better. I don't know, I don't really feel like to do the sessions or all the sessions that I'm allowed to do. I don't really think that I actually need to do them all. But I will do a couple, because it's always good to talk, and, you know, maybe there are some other stuff that I may need to get off my chest. Who knows? But, you know, I'm saying that to say that it is still good to talk, whether it's through a professional service or, you know, you reach out to friends and families, or find yourself on a forum where you're talking to a complete stranger. Sometimes it's easier talking to a stranger because you feel like, you know, they don't know you, they're not really going to judge you. Whereas when you're talking to friends now, I sometimes find, you know, easier just to speak to someone that doesn't know me. That's just me, everyone's different. Man, I couldn't... Clearly I took the scissors to my hair somewhere. Can you see that? Oh my goodness. Girl, what did you do to your hair? Yes. And then like these front bits, I can never actually get in properly because they just end up going to curl anyway. They're not going to stay straight. I think I need one of those like really tiny ones, but again, this isn't an everyday thing, so I don't know how to do it. Trying to like work out the best angle to get those little wispy bits. Mental Health Awareness Day. What I would like to say is that, you know, it's gonna be that old cliche saying, but, you know, everyone says it is okay not to be okay. And especially with men, you know, mental health, and I understand, you know, I think men and women have different types of life in terms of, you know, what men go through, and what, you know, women go through, and how we both, or, you know, us as different sexes deal with things. I think with men it is very much a pride, you know, not wanting to tell or, you know, be open about the problems that they're going through. And obviously, you know, being a man, you're meant to be the alpha male, the strong person. You know, and I don't feel like talking about your problems is a sign of weakness. Like, I understand how people feel, you know, when you are a strong-willed person, and you have to open up yourself to be vulnerable in order to talk about certain things. And sometimes that can be hard. I say, I get it, I know it's hard, but I also know that, you know, if you do want to make a change and you kind of want to have those brighter days, you have to kind of allow yourself, you know, find somebody that you're comfortable with, someone that you trust, someone that, you know, you can talk to and talk, man. So yeah, and again, you know, I think this is a subject that we can touch on many a times, because it is something that affects so many of us on a daily basis. And you know, you see those memes where it's like, you know, check on your happy friends, because you have people out there that will, you know, make it known that they are struggling and that, you know, they're unhappy with life. And then you've got the people that will never say anything. And, you know, as we've seen from even like within the celebrity circle, you know, some of the happiest people that, you know, always came across on social media as being happy and, you know, had a life to live and so much life in them, that turn around and commit suicide. And it's like, you kind of don't see it coming because they always appear to be happy. And it is a real thing, you know, check on your friends that always appear to be happy. Because you've got fully functioning people out there that are depressed, like you wouldn't even know it, that sometimes are on that edge. And again, I'm not speaking about myself, I'm just saying that there are people out there like that. And you never know, you know, that one phone call from you, or, you know, that one little message just to know, hey, how you doing? How's things going on? You know, you want to meet up, want to do something, want to go for a drink. Like, sometimes those messages you don't even know could actually be saving someone's life. Or, you know, just letting you know that I still care about you, I still think about you, whatever. You know, as long as that's coming from a genuine place of care and concern, you could do a lot with that. So I know this is like a really long process. And I don't know how long I'm actually going to keep my hair straight for, but yes, I know that looks really bad, all that smoke coming off my hair, but my hair's protected right now. Bet you, baby. And can you see the difference? Look how smooth and straight that is. That technique there is what I see them do in the shops. So, you know, comb through, comb and straighten. Or is it straighten and comb? Whatever. Both ways work. Get that hair bone straight. No, but honestly, what the hell happened over here? Like, I'm trying to understand. Look at that. And then this side is just like normal. What did you do, girl? I know this is probably like a long, boring video, but touch on that being as, you know, it is what day it is, and although this video probably won't come out until, like I said, the weekend, at least it's out there, you know, and I'm, regardless of where, you know, this channel takes me, I've always said I'm gonna always be real with everybody, so I'm not always gonna look the greatest. I think I have it all together. I know I don't have it all together. And do you know what? I'm happy with how, obviously, things could be better, but on a whole, you know, I'm happy with how things are. And I will always try and, you know, keep it real, keep it 100. Keep it 100 with y'all, because, you know, we want real people. We don't want fake people out here. You want people that you can relate to, people that, you know, you can look at and think, actually, like, I understand that journey. I've been there, I've done that. Not these superstar looking lives that sometimes you just, like, can't relate. Because I'm no superstar. I'm just your girl next door. I would just like to feel as well, just to feel how flat I've got the roots. And then I'm still on 210 degrees. And I don't have that burning smell. Nearly done. If you do love your curls and you want to keep them, I wouldn't advise doing this all the time. Oh, yo! Oh my god! You can see it. I've got white hair. Oh, child. Nah, that is so bad. Look at that. God. God, I look so different already. It's weird having straight hair. I had straight hair for like forever. Not having my hair straight. Hallelujah. So, straightened hair. Oh my god, look at this. That's a monstrosity. What was you doing? Oh. Can't even blend it in. Oh my god, this is so bad. So bad. So here we have, guys, my straightened hair. And that is how I get from curly to straight. Like I said, it doesn't happen very often. Don't expect many videos of this nature because I really don't want to put that much heat in my hair, but like I said, I fancied a change. And yeah, here's the change. Might just fling on a wig next for a couple of weeks and see how that goes. Right, guys, thanks again for tuning in. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Well, maybe it wasn't that kind of a video to enjoy, but you enjoyed the process, watching the process, and maybe something I said resonated with you and you're able to find some kind of value in it. I hope that's the case. So once again, thank you. I say that with such sincerity, honestly. Thank you, guys. Subscribe. Yep, click on that subscribe button, subscribe to my channel, turn on your notifications so you know when all my new videos pop up. Also, like, send me a comment and feel free to share. Okay, so this is Rina Vibez with straight hair now. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week and just enjoy life. Stay positive, stay blessed. This is Rina Vibez signing in, signing out. Till the next time.